Here we are with the update permissions button, which is very similar to the buttons in the create invites. I'm going to do the two together. With this button, which was also outside the room, I can create an invitation to get somebody else into this room. I already sent invitations to these guys. We have used this room before, but I'm going to create an invite. With the invitation, I have the possibility to pre-select rights for somebody. This means that I can decide if they are allowed to do something or not, which is something I can change later. For example, I can give them a right to use the chat. If I turn this switch off, they won't be able to type in here. I can give them the right to publish audio. That means they can speak. Maybe I don't want to, maybe I can give out invitations for people who doesn't really need to talk into that system. They only want to see the stream, like, I don't know, makeup or art department. And then they can come in without the right to publish audio. Even if they want to have the right to publish audio, they can come in with global muted by default. So they come in, they're already muted, they can't talk until I allow them to do. They can already come in as a priority speaker, so if I know I'm sending this invitation to the director, I'll set this up. User is able to publish video, that's for his camera image to be visible for the others, and user can share their screen. If I turn this off, this little share screen icon will not be visible here, and they don't have the right to do that. User is allowed to draw, and user is allowed to draw on top of streams. That's for the feature, this one, which allows me to draw on the whiteboards and streams, which is covered in a different video. This is the moderator switch, which is important. If I turn this on, whoever gets this invite has all of these buttons and the right to invite other people, kick out people from the room, change people's layouts. So all the functions I have here. So that is normally only given to one or two persons, normally the stream operator and maybe a producer who want to check everybody. And this is, it's important to give this moderator right to only those guys who need it, although it can be given later while they're already on. Allow multiple uses is a feature we had to build in for commercials. Normally on feature films, you have single-use invitations. So you send an invitation to a person. When he or she opens it, that invitation is automatically destroyed, disabled. So even if they send that link to somebody else, that somebody else will not be able to log in. Although if I do this and if I send somebody the link, if that somebody forwards that links to somebody else, all of those guys will be able to log in. That is important or useful for commercial clients because they don't normally give me everybody's email. I just give them one invitation, which is usually not a moderator, but it's usually a multiple use invitation, and I tell them that this is multiple use. Please only give it to somebody who you know want to get into this system. I can set the validity of the invitation, which means I send it out and that a person has to open this link in 3 hours or 6 hours or 12 hours. That's a security feature. And also the validity of the membership they create, their ability to access the room can be restricted. So if it's like, I know it's a 3-day commercial or a 2-day commercial, I give them 3 days because there's a test period, but I don't have to come back and kick them out from this room. I can just give them a restricted length of membership and they won't be able to come back in next week when we're maybe shooting a different commercial. So I've set this up all the way I want. I click generate And there is the link I have to send. If I click here, it's copied onto my clipboard. And it also tells me that when this invite will be expired. So if I send this to someone, this is how we started the first video with a link like this. If I send this to someone and they open it, it will take them to the registration window. I can click this, which means generate exactly the same invitation with a different code. So if I have a non-multiple use invitation, but I want to create 10 invitations for 10 producers, maybe, I can just click this 10 times and every time copy it to another email. Or I can say generate another, and it takes me back to this window, and I can have different settings here. And after that, I can close the window and come back to the main interface. Now, I said this button is very similar to the invitation button, and that's because if I go in here, I can update somebody's permissions. So maybe I invited them without the way to share their screen, but I now want to grant them this right. So I can say share screen. As you can see, as soon as I take my right away to share screen, this button disappears. If I take my right away to publish video, even if my camera is turned on, it will be muted immediately. And the camera button disappears from here. Also, the share screen is connected to publish video, so the screen share is a sort of video. So if I don't have the right to publish the video, I can't share my screen. Coming back to here, this is the drawing rights, which I'm explaining in a different video, and the ability to use the chat. If I take this away, I don't have the chat window. So that was this button here, the update permissions. And the drawing areas and streams will be explained in a different video.